In this video, I'm going to be covering how to install the Bott Smartvan system inside your van. Keep in mind that each system is designed specifically for the make and model of the van, so the mounting brackets may vary, but the same concept applies. This is just going to be an installation video, so I'm going to go through every step as quickly as I can so I don't waste too much of your time. So if you find this video helpful to you, please like and subscribe. It really helps me out. And thank you to Bott Smartvan for sponsoring this video. So without wasting any more of your time, let's get started. So I'm about to unbox everything, lay it out, and get it all ready to install. So the first thing you install are the framing racks. Framing, you have the racks, and then you have the hardware, and the instructions are in the hardware package. And there's a couple different types of brackets, and in the picture is where you'll find out where they go. So you gotta look that over. They do supply you with any of the tools you need and a few different options, and they give you a number to call if you need any help. All right, I wanna point something out, and you'll learn this when you design the system online, but you'll have two sizes. So you have a larger and a small one, a 37 and a 41. The larger one fits over the wheel, so it's going to reach past the wheel. The shorter one will not work there. So when you're laying this out, just remember that. So the first thing you do is mount all of these brackets together, and I will show you right here. That's what the bracket looks like, and there's 3 of them. And I'll show you what that looks like mounting that on. Let me point this out on the back. So when I first started putting this first panel in, I wasn't really sure where to start it, judging off of just the system, until I realized this back middle bracket needs to line up with this bolt right here. So when you're looking to start it, make sure you get this back bracket lined up with that bolt. One more thing I need to point out about this: install it maybe 1 notch over so that it's at an angle back this way, and it'll clear any of your shelves or Systainer boxes that you're going to put in. So first you put these clips where it's going to line up. Next, this bolt and this washer. All right, so I've got this bracket on, but I have it a little bit loose so it can move around. Everything I put on, I'm gonna leave it just a little bit loose until I get everything in place, and then I'll go back and tighten everything down. All right, once you get your brackets mounted to your frame, a little bit loose, you're gonna mount it to the van. They supply all of these washers for different thicknesses depending on whether you're installing a floor or not. And then this bolt and a washer. All right, so once you get all of the bottom ones in, I got all these brackets in, and you start working on the top. For the top brackets, you're just gonna use the same hardware to mount it to the framing rack, but on the van side, you got to make sure you line it up with the holes that are pre-drilled in the van. Now these mount the same way on the top, but this is a little different. They give you these, and there's a bunch of different shapes. So there's slots up top, places for you to get them in there, and then there's slots on the bottom to get them in there too. So I noticed something on using these. This is at the very front, right up next to the partition. This bracket is lined up with this bracket on the van. So this longer one comes in handy because there's no slot up here that's close to it. So it's kind of further back. It's more like right here. So you need a longer one to line up with that hole. So keep that in mind. Now that I have the frame installed, I've got all the brackets in, I know that everything lines up, everything is just snugged. I'm gonna go back and tighten everything down really good. Turns out this tool fits the best because there's really not a lot of room in here. So the ratchet works on some of them, but this is turning out to be the fastest tool. So I'm putting in the right side, or the passenger side, and what I've done is I've mounted this one first so that everything is lined up, and then I just put this one in there so that nothing will fall over while I'm working on the rest of it. Okay, so I finished mounting up all of the framing. I'm gonna put this divider rail in here for the smaller shelves or the Systainer boxes. So for mounting the rail, you're gonna use these same clips. Slide that in there first. And then you put your rail over it. That's the first rail installed. The frame infill panel goes right here. You can see there's pre-drilled holes. Just lines up with those. Right here are the screws to install that. There's a little notch out that allows that to fit in there. Use the drill. So 1, 2, and 3. Super easy. Of course, you don't want to forget the Bott sticker, so get that logo on there. Beautiful. I am completely done with the framing. All that is installed and secured. Next is all these shelves and Systainer boxes. All right, so how the shelf is installed, it's very simple. Each shelf comes with directions and a pack of screws. So you just put 2 screws on each side, and you're just gonna wanna tighten those in, just finger tight. And then I went ahead and just did them all. So make sure my layout's right before I screw them all in. And they provide a bit for your drill, and they recommend using a drill on the torque setting. Now I'll show you how to mount the hardware for the Systainer boxes. These Systainer runners, they come in a pack like this. Open them up. The direction they go, the label is going to be out. This little tab is going to be on the bottom. That's the left, this is the right, like that. You could flip them around like this and get them backwards because the label will still be out, but you got to make sure that that's correct. And this rail is going to snap in right here and go across the back. I'll show that once it's in. All right, now these are the same way. You want to line them up, just get them in there finger tight, make sure they're in the right spot before you tighten them down all the way. All right, now for the rail that goes in the back, you want the U shape down like that. Not like this, like this. That goes back in here in this track, and I'll show you a close-up of that, but it just locks in to those tabs. So you can see right there, it has a little locking tab. And that's all you gotta do. Now I have a couple drawers in my system. The hardware for the drawers are the same as the Systainer boxes. And the way they go in, I haven't shown that. So they slide in just like a drawer. You're gonna go back, lift up. So it locks in, lift up, slide, it catches, and then if you want to pull it out, lift it up. So once you know how to install the hardware, it's all about spacing and what you got in your design. And then that's part you just got to figure out depending on what you have. And the only other thing I have left to show you to install is these perfo panels, and these are very easy too. All right, and in these panels, you got 2 holes here, 2 holes there. I'm starting at the top, so I get it tight to the top. So I got a couple different accessories to go with this perfo panel. This is a wire loop holder, but let me show you how these mount in. So those go in there. They give you a little clip. Turn it at a 45-degree angle. Stick it in, and then they give you a little tool to turn it. You can probably just turn it with your fingers, but it is a little stiff. On some of these larger shelves, you may want to divide it up, and you can buy a shelf divider kit. You can see these holes right here on the shelves, and that is where your divider is going to go on one of those. So it comes like this. You just break these off. The shorter one, the longer one. The shorter one goes up here in the front. So there's a clip on the top, hooks in there, and it just slides in. Very simple. Well, after all that, you're probably curious to see what my setup looks like, so let me just give you a quick view of it all. I have been using this system for a while now, and I am 100% satisfied with it. I love how customizable it is. It's better than I expected, to be honest, and I hope your system works out just as well for you. So good luck with that. I really hope this video was helpful to you. Please like and subscribe, and thank you again to Bott Smartvan for sponsoring this video.